We have 17 cards, and Commissioner Woodward will be calling names. We have 2 podiums. Everyone will have 3 minutes to speak. This is not a question and answer. This is for us to listen to what you have to say. Thank you so much.
Okay, the first 4 cards, we have Linda Ortiz, Cindy Falco de Corrado, John Sauter, and Daniel Waleski. You have 2 microphones. Go ahead.
Linda Ortiz, West Palm Beach. I'm here today to speak about taxes that I did not vote to pay, the Healthcare District, and I, the Children's Service Council. I respectfully ask this body to be re-evaluated and continuance of these automatic referendums where these funds are going, and to have opt-out options. These should be done by voluntarily or privately supported, not taken taxpayers. Thank you. And the chemtrails are still going, and they shouldn't be going because they said they were going to stop the chemtrails. They need to stop immediately. It's harming us.
Good day, Mayor, Commissioners, and members of the Council. My name is Reverend Cindy Falco de Corrado. I am a resident of Boynton Beach and a taxpayer in Palm Beach County. I am here to express my discontentment with 2 specific taxing authorities that continue to take funds from my property taxes without my consent: the Healthcare District and the Children's Services Council. These referendums may have been passed decades ago, but I personally did not vote for them. I do not consent to them, and I strongly object to these ongoing assessments being taken out of my hard-earned tax dollars. Taxation should reflect the will and consent of the people. No government body has the right to presume my consent on matters I never agreed to. These charges are not optional, they are mandatory, and they continue to rise year after year without my approval. I respectfully ask this body to reevaluate the continuation of these automatic referendums, provide transparency on where these funds are going, and explore opt-out options for taxpayers who do not wish to fund these programs. I am not against healthcare or children's services. What I oppose is being forced to fund organizations and initiatives that I did not authorize and that I believe should be voluntary or privately supported. Therefore, I place on record that I do not consent on these funds being taken from me, and for the sake of future generations, I do not consent to unauthorized taxation without my voice, my vote, and my approval. As a servant of the Lord and as a citizen and an American, I stand on God's truth and declare I do not consent to unjust taxation, for righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is reproach to any people. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name's John. I represent Lakeshore Wake Surf. You all have probably seen our emails flutter around between Jennifer Cirillo, Parks Director, Mr. Flores. We've communicated actually directly about it. I have a little prompt here. So our goal is to provide a safe, family-friendly place for wake surfing, paddleboarder, kayaking. This project gives local youth positive experiences, strengthens families, promotes healthy lifestyle. Also, no opportunity like this is around Lake Osborne, central Palm Beach County. We have strong community support, family, small businesses, neighbors. We actually have a petition with hundreds of signatures as well. We operate with experienced instructors, employees. We'll carry full insurance, adaptive programs such as. So our issue, we previously met with county, presented our water sports school proposal. At that meeting, we received positive feedback. We were promised that a rebidding of the RFP would go out by Parks and Recreation. It had been out twice. We didn't know. We went, had a meeting. They promised that. We were even given a site tour of a building that was supposed to be for lease. During multiple follow-up emails, requests, we received one response from Jennifer saying, hey, I'm willing to meet, and I've emailed twice since, no meeting, and haven't heard back. We believe the government decisions should reflect community interest. Our program has strong, broad support. We would appreciate the commission's support with our plan and how we can get some information to proceed. I do have some documentation. I don't know if I can pass that out, but I would appreciate it. And you'll be hearing from us, and thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Dan Waleski. I'm here on behalf of Sun Foundation. We are a not-for-profit developer of affordable housing. We were very grateful last year to come before you, and we were awarded some of the money from the Housing Bond Loan Program for Waterview Apartments, which is in Mangonia Park. That project is scheduled for this Friday for our final approval on our bond financing. We've been approved on all of our credit underwriting, and we will be breaking ground early in December on that property. Today, I'm here to request from you consideration for our next project, which is the Great Blue Residences. This is a property in Riviera Beach, Florida. It's going to be a sister property to Waterview Apartments, 140 units of affordable senior living in Palm Beach County. We made an application under the Housing Bond Loan Program this year for similar support of what you already granted to Waterview Apartments last year. Unfortunately, we were found to be non-responsive due to a issue of supporting documentation. Our property, we 100% attest, meets all of the requirements. It's just we did not submit a letter that we didn't think was necessary, and it's our fault for misunderstanding that. We've been in conversations with staff. Staff is generally supportive of our application, but they don't have the ability to allow that application to go to the selection committee. We are here humbly to request action from the board to provide staff direction to allow good projects that were deemed non-responsive to still be scored by the selection committee. We're not asking you to approve the project. We're not asking you to review it on merits. We're simply asking for you to allow the scoring committee to score those applications so that when it comes back before you, you have that evidence and data and you can make a ruling at that time. We know that the mission of the Affordable Housing Program is to use that bond money in the best way possible. We believe that our project does that. We believe that you would be extremely happy to support it, and as you did with Waterview Apartments previously. But if the scoring committee doesn't score it, you wouldn't even have an opportunity to see that in the future. So again, humbly, we're requesting for the board to take action and just let staff, provide staff direction to allow the scoring committee to review and score this. And then you could still, when it comes before you after the scoring committee, you could still opt at that time not to consider anything that was deemed non-responsive. But if you don't have a score, you would no longer have that opportunity. So thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Okay, the next four, we have Nathan Rich, Robert Wood, Laura Lessman, and Bennett Lessman.
Hello, Nathan Rich, president of Sun Foundation. Kind of tagging on what Dan said. First, thank you again for support of Waterview Apartments. We're excited about that. We're underway. We're almost there. Great Blue Residences is we think it's a great project. We think it's a great location. We have 140 units of senior
I'm going to
living.
interrupt you for a
Yes,
second.
ma'am.
You're trying to circumvent the process by being here today. You were deemed unresponsive. There is a protest period and whatnot. And from what has been shared by staff, this is just sort of an end run to get back into the process, which really, quite frankly, is not the right thing to do.
I understand. So the process was very unclear, and the response that we got from staff was not clear, so we weren't even aware of what exactly was being asked. There was a letter of confusion, so we addressed the letter. What letter meaning from the tax credit purchaser and the bond purchaser. Our letter said that they were interested in providing the tax credits and bonds. We thought that was sufficient. Then we had it revised as saying that they are committed to providing the tax credits. So there's like a semantics on phrasing here. And that's extremely unfortunate when we have a vulnerable part of the community and a great project teed up and we have money to spend for affordable housing and we're getting caught up on phrasing on a letter. just seems very unnecessary and unfortunate to have phrasing.
Did it right the first time, so
Well,
I'm sorry.
I
You did
understand.
it right the first time.
Last time was different, that this wasn't the process last time. So I understand, and I generally agree with you. We don't want to circumvent any process. We're not trying to cheat the system or get around anything. We want to do things the right way, but more importantly, we are truly trying to bring affordable housing to this area, and it is a great product. Project is solid, location is perfect, and it's like very unfortunate to push that to the side and hope it works out in the future for absolute phrasing differentials. It's a big missed opportunity. So we really have to ask, please, if you would consider allowing staff to include this in the selection committee, and they can always red exit at that point and say, no, it doesn't meet our standards and kick us out then, but we're just asking to be included with everybody else, that's all.
Commissioner Powell.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for coming before us today. Two real quick questions I just want to have the opportunity to jump at. This process, did you meet with staff prior to ever submitting?
We met with staff prior to submitting, sure.
The products that you're bringing to the market that you believe will be excellent for the community, are they for rent or for sale?
These are apartments, rental.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. That's all. I mean, I just really want to ask if we could please provide action today, possibly, if possible, to staff to allow us to be included, because selection committee does meet, I think, on the 11th. So it's a very short window. And I'm sorry that it is this way. Obviously, we didn't intend for that. We would love to just be perfectly smoothly rolling into the selection committee. But there was an issue with paperwork. So I apologize for that, obviously, but we hope you'll reconsider and allow staff to include us on the selection committee and not let this great project go to waste.
Commissioner Flores.
Yeah, I echo the mayor's sentiment. There is a process. This is a competitive process, and if for some reason you did not meet the items that were required, we have to move forward. I believe the window will open again in about 6 months, so I encourage you to bring that application forward at that time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Commissioner Powell.
You know, Mayor, I agree with you on your point. You met with staff.
Yes, sir.
They made a decision, and the mayor indicated that to try to object or to circumvent the process that has already been laid out, to me, is problematic. And I understand Riviera Beach is in my district, Mangonia Park is in my district. And we haven't had the opportunity, I don't think we've met in my office yet. But I really wish that you wouldn't do that, to come here and to take over the public comment or the matters by the public process because you didn't get what you wanted when you met with staff. It's really problematic to me. I'm very disappointed that it would come to this matter. And I believe that we have a great staff who works hard, who delivers great information. If you made it the first time, I believe that you could have done it the second time, but to come here today to circumvent the process, that I don't like the way that was done. That is, it's really tough to look at it in a positive light, especially when you come here and you say, we're bringing a great product to them. We haven't seen the product, we don't know, but in your opinion it is. But what I can tell you is this, when we talk about creating wealth and opportunities in the community, for me, it's a rental project. It's not going to create generational wealth. It may be helpful, but it's not doing what I would like to see done in my district. Please, in the future, let's stick to the process and don't come to this part of the process to circumvent what staff has already laid out. Please don't do that again. Thank you.
Understood. And allow me just to say, staff has been great. Jonathan Brown's been great. Carlos has been great. They're all great. There's at no point any issue with staff. So I just want to say thank you. Appreciate it.
Who's next?
Good afternoon. My name's Robert Wood. I'm here to comment on the fraudulent election of 2024. Wendy Link, the current supervisor of elections, appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis, identified as a Republican, then switched parties after she got in. In 2024, she ran as the incumbent against Republican Jeff Bongiorno. I liken this to having the convicts run the prison. As supervisor of elections, I believe she had all the tools necessary to rig the election results in favor of the Democrats. I can tell you that I voluntarily worked 6 different precincts in Palm Beach County, handing out voter guides during early election voting. Approximately 90% of those voters I spoke to indicated they were voting down ballot Republican. I don't need the line graphs and pie charts to know that the Palm Beach County is not as blue as we're led to believe. So let's have a look at some of the facts and figures here. Over 491,000 ballots were cast in person versus just over 228,000 vote-by-mail ballots. It's less than half. Yet we are expected to believe that the vote-by-mail ballots reversed the in-person outcome. Jeff Bongiorno led by 7,671 votes after 13 days of in-person voting. The vote-by-mail margin for Wendy Link was 110,382. Link's total for vote-by-mail was 169,530 to Bongiorno's 59,148. By comparison, Kamala Harris received 372,512 total votes. Wendy Link got 411,290 votes. That's 38,000 more than the presidential nominee, Kamala Harris. These anomalies show statistical implausibility, and they support legal relief to void all of the vote-by-mail ballots. Another interesting anomaly, Democrat Rick Bradshaw received 420,635 votes. Kamala Harris got 372,512 votes, and Donald Trump 366,736 votes. This shows that Bradshaw got 54,000 more votes than either of the presidential candidates. This raises questions about down-ballot inflation and statistical plausibility in vote-by-mail returns. I wish Jeff Bongiorno, Dan Bongino, and Director Kash Patel all of the best in their upcoming elections and struggles. Thank you for your time and attention to this matter. Thank you.
Hi, Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you so much for letting me speak today. My name is Laura, and I am a Palm Beach County resident with my husband and our 4 children, and we love Palm Beach County. We think that you're doing a great job. We love living here. We love raising kids here. But there is an issue that I would like to bring to your attention. So I've lived in Palm Beach County for 10 years, and I just found out in July from a text message from a neighbor that aerial spraying is done for mosquitoes. And I didn't even know what that meant. I had, my kids had soccer the next morning at South County Park. I canceled it because I'm like, what does that even mean and what are they using? So for the past couple months, I have made hundreds of phone calls. I have read as much data as I possibly can from as many sources as I possibly can. And the chemical used is Naled. Naled is banned in the EU, and I understand there's some semantics around what that means. It's a neurotoxin. What it does is it shuts off the neurological system in mosquitoes. And I know right now we're like, it's like you just had a presentation on pollinators I read, and it kills the pollinators too, and it has harmful effects on all kinds of wildlife, but it also affects humans. It does. And the EPA's website says that there should be at least a 24-hour notice to people before spraying occurs. It says that we should cover our lawn furniture, cover our grills, bring in children's toys. Anything that's left out should be washed thoroughly. I've contacted the Parks Department. They had no idea this was happening. I said, are you cleaning, the kids' parks after this? They didn't know this was happening. And we start spraying, the county starts spraying 30 minutes after dark. My children, we do rec soccer. So we're outside while the county is spraying a neurotoxin from the sky. And I understand that mosquitoes are a nuisance and they are, they carry diseases from time to time. I've spoken to the mosquito department in Palm Beach County, the director, and he said we're really dealing with nuisance mosquitoes, not necessarily disease vector mosquitoes. And so I'm proposing that an alert system is put in place. Commissioner Weiss's office has been very, very gracious working with me, and they think it's a good idea also. I know that the county has capability to do it because I get the sheriff's alerts frequently. I think an alert system should be put into place saying when it's happening and if it's canceled. And it should be mandatory for every Palm Beach County resident, because I didn't know. For 10 years, I didn't know. And if they opt out, great. But it should also say the EPA says this is how you should protect your home and your children. This is what we are spraying, just so everybody is totally crystal clear, because I would have lived a little bit differently if I would have known what was being sprayed over my home and at our parks. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Thanks for listening to me as well. I'm Bennett Lessman, the proud husband of Laura. And as she is a concerned resident of Palm Beach County, so am I. I lose a lot of sleep over this because my wife loses a lot of sleep over the issue of aerial spraying of Naled. So I'm here to talk to you about it. I think that the most logical step that Palm Beach County can do at the moment is to have an opt-in program. And I think we can do a countywide alert for all of the people that are being aerial sprayed by Naled. I didn't know about this. I've owned a business in Palm Beach County for over a decade. I had no clue this was happening until recently. What I found out is that there is a very limited notification system. It's published in a newspaper about 24 hours before it happens, and it's published on a website for the mosquito department about 24 hours before it happens. These are minimum guidelines according to the EPA for notification. What's lacking is exactly what homeowners and families and pet owners should do in the event that aerial Naled is sprayed. I think that Palm Beach County can do a better job. We love living in the sun, we love having families, we love having our pets. I think we can do a better job of notifying the public when this is going to happen and following those minimum standards from the EPA. Those minimum standards include not having children outside for at least 3 to 4 hours after it's sprayed. As my wife said, we take our kids to South County for practice at night after spraying has occurred. That's unacceptable. And if we had known, we would have opted into a program and we would have canceled soccer. Your pets should not be outside. Your windows should be closed. If you have an AC unit that pulls in air from outside, it should be turned off. These are all minimum guidelines from the EPA. Now, I have my own qualms with the EPA. I don't think they go far enough. But Naled is currently under investigation with the EPA, and the EPA is reevaluating Naled's use. And based on those reevaluations, these are the minimum standards. And they leave it up to you, the local municipalities and counties, to make those notifications to the public. So we're here today as a concerned family to ask you to opt in, have our citizens opt in for this spraying. We've spoken to the mosquito department, and I want to address one thing. Some people are very concerned that mosquitoes spread disease. This spraying is not being done for the spread of disease. This is for nuisance mosquitoes only. We don't like mosquitoes, and I'm sure you don't either. But spraying a nuisance toxin, a neurotoxin from the sky over residents with minimal notification and not following the EPA guidelines, we're better than that. So I'm asking that we start with a notification program to opt in for these notifications, and that Palm Beach County notify its residents of the minimum standards for the EPA so they can take the protections for their family, their pets, and their loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Sir, I want to address your issues. First, thank you for being here. Brought your wife, all the kids, not easy in the rain. And I share your concerns. My staff is talking to your wife right now. I'll get your contacts. I want to find out what we are spraying, what type of pesticides we're spraying, and then we will notify you. And with your advocacy, we can find out exactly if that's the best way to handle the pest situation in the county. So we'll look into it. I don't like the idea that I don't know what type of pesticides we're spraying. And so I'll look into it, and I'm sure the board is as concerned as I am that we know what type of chemicals we're spraying on the county. I appreciate your advocacy. I'll be in touch with you. Thank
May I
you,
briefly
sir.
respond? May I briefly respond? Or
Briefly.
okay.
Because
Thank
this
you
is not
very
a
much, and we're always open to speak to you. And Commissioner Weiss, I want to thank you for taking some initiative with me and my wife as well. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Okay, the next four, we have Delroy Lowe, Linda Smith, Tracy Brack, and Dylan Owens.
Commissioners, pleasant good afternoon to you all. My name is Delroy Lowe, live at 3761 Rye Road in Lake Worth. In exactly 2 months and 2 days, I will be 70 years old. I have owned the property since December 2012. Palm Beach County will have collected approximately $56,058.71 from property taxes by November of this year. For 5 years and 10 months, I have been nursing my fruit trees. And as of Thursday, September 4th, 2025, it was massacred by agents of AT&T using eminent domain law. My fruit tree cut down to 3 feet, 11 inches, while the cable wire is 14 feet from the ground. The diameter of where it was cut is 13¼ inches. Value of the damage to my fruit tree, if purchased from a nursery, is over $1,000. Value of the fruits at the time of damage, over $250. The law needs to be amended either by resolution or ordinances, or if there's some other laws that are used. Conditions that need to be amended. It must be changed. Homeowners should be notified before any utility companies enter a private property to remove any kind of vegetation. Relevant specifically to me, my property, the cable wires that are over my property should be moved to the east side of the road, of the street where it rightfully belongs, since stronger poles were set up there for that purpose over 5 years ago. This has distressed me. When I saw this on Thursday, I could not go to work on Friday. I could not sleep that night. Today, when I went to work, and I'm doing my work, and I'm going back over it, there were 3 simple mistakes that I made that I caught, which does not usually happen. So it is affecting me mentally and also physically, because I could not properly see what I was doing there because my eyes did not get enough sleep.
Ms. Smith?
Okay, Linda Smith, Jupiter, Florida. Good afternoon, and please bear with me. Today is a little bit of a potpourri of issues. Welcome, Mr. Abrazo. Glad to have you aboard. Commissioner Weiss, I enjoyed your letter in the Sunday Post about AI. I thought that was great. Commissioner Baxter, I understand you're not here, so I'll skip that. But I understand she's interested in engaging more stakeholders to improve water management. And I was going to ask her to let me know how I can help. I want to thank everyone involved in the oyster shell curing stations being set up at MacArthur State Park. And I was very encouraged recently that all of you support the maintenance of our natural resources areas. I would suggest financial and personnel for enforcement of these ordinances that are designed to protect our preserves, both owned by the county and privately owned. Many of our zoning concessions involve private preserve areas. The owners of those areas need to also maintain them, just as you do. The invasive species on those areas spread to our county areas, and then the county and the citizens have to pay more because the private landowner did not hold up their end of the bargain. I would also like to suggest updating codes to require replanting and replacement of native trees. when clearing sites with an emphasis on clearing the smallest possible footprint. So often I see the first step for any development is clear cutting from property line to property line. This isn't really necessary. I also want to wish you more luck in attracting more willing sellers to Palm Mar Water District area. I really need to get back up to those meetings. And finally, as always, I'm asking you to help us all to reduce the use of single-use plastics. Single-use plastic is bad for the environment, bad for our health, bad for tourism. The plastic pollution crisis is too large for individuals to solve through individual voluntary actions. We can't solve the plastic pollution problem by trying harder. Water now comes in aluminum cans. We need to enact plastic bans on all county property. That is still allowed under the state ordinances, state laws. And commercial properties need easy, convenient recycling. And thank you very much for your time, and feel free to call me anytime. Thank you.
Go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Tracy Brock. I have served Palm Beach County as a night shift park ranger for over 2 years now. There's a variety of issues that I would love to bring before you guys, but I only have 3 minutes, so I'm focusing on one. I'm night shift. I'm on from 4 to midnight. Routinely, I encounter unsheltered patrons with a variety of issues ranging anything from human trafficking to mental health to drug addiction. This is Palm Beach County's solution, or resources, as we would call it over the radio. Routinely, I would be scoffed at by our unsheltered population, saying that there are no available resources. So one night, when I found a disfigured, unsheltered patron, I decided to take it upon myself to go one by one through these resources in an attempt to connect that unsheltered patron with services. I was shocked to learn that this was true. One by one, I was met with, I'm sorry, your phone has been disconnected. Also, I work from 4 to 11 p.m. Most of these services that are available are only 9 to 5, if this is a number. The only one where I could reach a human was this final number, where I was met with the reality that there are no emergency services. One by one, I would sit down. I did this 3 times with various unsheltered patrons, only to learn that this does not work. My suggestion to the board and to us today is that we do better for those unsheltered patrons here in Palm Beach County. It is that we have working services, is that we give a pamphlet. As well done as this may seem, it doesn't work. It doesn't connect us with real services. And when I am on the ground, sitting down with an unsheltered patient who is suffering and is actually accepting and reaching out for help, it is terribly disheartening to realize that it is the truth, that we do not have any services here in Palm Beach County. Finally, this also creeps into ranger safety. When I approach, and my fellow rangers approach, an unsheltered individual in the park late at night alone, we do so unarmed, untrained. We do not carry a weapon. We do not have self-defense. We do not know the reaction which we will be faced with. So not only are we facing a life-threatening situation every time we approach someone in the park, but we are not actually solving any problems. We are not actually fighting crime. We are not actually making our park safe or connecting people with resources, but I am putting my life on the line with my fellow rangers. So my proposition is that we do better. I think that the park rangers should be equipped with some sort of self-defense training, maybe partnered with our outstanding police force at PBSO in times of need. And I also think that we can do better. We can have real resources. We can have real phone numbers and serve our unsheltered population better. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hold on one second. No clapping, please. Commissioner Sachs?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Ms. Brock?
Yes.
Hi, come on back.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for service to our county.
Thank you.
Parks. And I agree with you. I've called that number myself, only to be met with either a busy signal or we're only open from 9 to 5. So my staff's going to come up and talk with you. I have to tell you, Dr. Fields is here, Dr. Tammy Fields is here. in the audience. Maybe you could also speak with Ms. Brock if you could, Tammy. We're going to be meeting next week. Dr. James Green, Jonathan Brown, Todd Von Laren, and we're going to work on housing first to house. The most important thing for a homeless person, unsheltered person, is to get a house, a little house. We're going to be working on that. Our staff is on it. I appreciate what you all do out there. It's seems like it's a little testy. So we're going to get your name and contact, and we're going to keep you posted as to how we move forward on this. Because yes, Palm Beach County can and will do better. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Dr. Field, Tammy will talk to you right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Dylan Owens. I'm the president of CWA Local 3181. Some of you are familiar with. Others I anticipate meeting. I represent all the county workers in the bargaining unit for Palm Beach County. And I just wanted to make you guys aware of, as you know, we're in bargaining right now with the county. I'm not here to bargain. That would be unfair labor practice, so I'm not here to do that. But I just wanted to make you guys aware that the county bargaining team has informed us that they intend to implement a merit raise pay system on the bargaining unit. And we feel strongly against the effectiveness of that on the bargaining unit. We feel that it's much more better served for white collar. We did have a merit pay system 22 plus years ago. We went away from it due to management bias, and a lot of people ended up not getting raises, and that just serves to increase financial insecurity and an uncertain future for some of the least paid workers in our county. So we would just like to make you aware of that, and yeah, that's all I got today, guys. I look forward to meeting all of you.
Okay, the last 4 cards we have are Jeff Hastings, Aaron Actis, Jane Justice, and Candace Rojas.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Jeff Hastings. I was born and raised here in Palm Beach County, and now I have a business on Happy Hollow Road in the Ag Reserve for about 10 years now. I feel sure some of the commissioners are already well aware of who I am, as my problems I came to discuss started 5 years ago in the Ag Reserve. In 2020, the ditch draining Happy Hollow Road from my driveway to the E1 canal was dug to 6 feet deep with an excavator from a neighbor who sent one of many of his excavators in with an operator and a man guiding him how to dig from Mova Hill Nursery. The water was rerouted to the east instead of the west from the Mova Hill property. I believe a short time later is when the property sold for millions, and I hope none of you personally profited from the land sale, because I was being falsely imprisoned in the county's moldy jail on Gun Club Road for nearly 6 months due to many constitutional rights violations by the local sheriff's office. You approved the property to be sold for an industrial building to be developed, and I sincerely hope none of you approved the rerouting of the water into my driveway in 2020, in the end of the year. In the last week, I heard a rumor there may be a substation going in on Happy Hollow where the phone tower is at for the local sheriff's office. It would make sense with as much as law enforcement used to frequent that area. That is also where there is about 30 feet of solid mud in front of a culvert blocking my pond's historical outflow to the E1 canal. I was told by a well-known lawyer the man blocking it had been cited by the county and it would not be blocked again. Yet here we are, and once again it's blocked. Is this part of a project the county is working on that the community and I need to be aware of at this time? In the last week, the developers dug out about 100 feet of large metal culverts from the old Mova Hill property and asked the old owner if he wanted them because they didn't need them anymore. The outflow for Happy Hollow Road on Happy Hollow Road was completely cut off from the E1 canal permanently last Friday, right before all the heavy rain started. The street flooded within hours. Now there is a 5-foot ditch they opened to the E1 canal flowing like a river with the recent rains. I was wondering if you have heard about this and have any plans to fix it with all the industrial buildings you keep approving in the Ag Reserve and all the flood issues there. Maybe you should just move the ag reserve out to the Loxahatchee area where it has always belonged and where you have been offered large amounts of land in another farming area in the county. And finally, Sarah Baxter obviously isn't here, but I have something to say to her. I was going to tell her that she should be ashamed of herself and ask, why would you support a Democrat for sheriff while being an
Sir,
active
we don't
member
take pot shots at our commissioners.
Okay, I want to know why Sarah Baxter supported a Democrat for sheriff while being an active member of the REC, using the Republican
Sir, your time
Party's
is up. Thank you very
resources
much.
for your election.
Sir, your time is up.
Okay, so no comments from me about my
We don't-
drainage
we're-
issues like the other people?
Nope, sorry.
Didn't think so. Yeah, you guys interrupted me and wasted 10 seconds.
Sir? Go right ahead.
Hi. I just want to continue what he said. Sarah Baxter is a member of the Republican Executive Committee, and she voted to support a Democrat sheriff.
That is
and
not something that we're
Democrat
going to take up
supervisor.
here.
Okay, so anyway, I'll finish when I'm here for my public comment. My name is Miss Actis. I reside in Jupiter. I just heard the mayor, she left, say that Palm Beach County.
No, the mayor's
is-
sitting right here.
Oh, I'm sorry, the previous mayor, Sachs, Commissioner Sachs, saying that we can do better in Palm Beach County, so that's awesome. In 2000, Virginia Guffrey was a 16-year-old junior staffer at Mar-a-Lago Resort in Palm Beach County, Florida, when her life changed forever. That year, and other minor girls were recruited right here in Palm Beach County, high schools, middle schools, and FAU by Ghislaine Maxwell to work as a model or massage therapy for Jeffrey Epstein, a multimillionaire with many contacts to celebrities and political friends. Guffrey says the pair groomed her and forced her to have sex with Epstein and others as part of an elaborate sex ring from which she escaped in 2022. It was allowed to continue using other children from California, New York, and Miami, all through Palm Beach County. In 2019, the 5 women and thousands of other estimated victims, the 3 Epstein survivors and 2 journalists were honored in a People's annual Women Changing the World edition magazine. What happened? Why wasn't it stopped? For years, Jeffrey told her harrowing story to authorities, but justice remained elusive. In 2017, however, Guffrey spoke with the Miami Herald, reporter Julie K. Brown, a videographer, Emily Micott, and spoke out about the abuse. The journalist also interviewed fellow Epstein survivors Courtney Wild, Michelle Licata, and Jenna Lisa Jones. Today, there are many more women talking. After Alex Acosta and vicious prosecutors made the heartbreaking sweetheart deal behind their backs, Jeffrey was an asset, they said. The result of the interview was a bombshell 3-part investigation published in 2018 that led to Epstein's second arrest and the resignation of several government officials. Epstein killed himself at age 66, August 10th, 2019, at a Metropolitan Corrections Center, New York, while awaiting trial. No children of his own. The years of intense pain, trauma, ridicule, and suffering must have been unbearable, and Virginia killed herself last month at age 41, April 25th, 2025, at her home in Australia. She couldn't even live in our country while awaiting the world. She leaves behind 3 children of her own. Please, commissioners of Palm Beach County, let's act. It's time to make our mark and help the children that you say that you care about. Show them we are responsible. We are sorry for the failure to do what we should have done a long time ago. I implore you to act as our commissioners. Make an urgent call to Tallahassee. There is a House Resolution 581, the Epstein Files Transparency Act. We appreciate and allow the lawyers to indict and arrest the perpetrators with harsher penalties, and it will help the healing process of these women who were children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I regret to say I didn't have any time at all to prepare, but I don't want to miss an opportunity to speak truth when it's so important. It was very interesting to hear some of the things going on about that poison. Nobody knows they're spraying that poison. You know the chemtrails are poison also. On my way over here today, palm trees dying from the top, palm trees on Okeechobee. 4 or 5 of them. I watch them all over. I'm all over the state and I'm all over the county. And who's going to speak for us? I mean, as far as that, the people here, I'm glad you're going to try to do something about that spraying the poison on us, because really, it's ridiculous. We're just being driven insane by all $900 billion or $9 billion on taxes here. And what are we getting for it, right? You call to get help and you get nothing. Oh, that's not my department. That's not my department. That's got to stop. But if you want to do something, you do need to support that bill, House Resolution 851, because these are our children here. People are not safe here, the stuff that's gone on. But I want to say, what are we doing? Is our money like monopoly money now? I was shocked to find out $700 million for Israeli bonds. Excuse me, but where the people are being driven out of here, they can't afford to live here anymore. Somebody's posting on the Neighborhood Watch, a deer and her baby deer walking down the street, they got no place to go. You build houses on every corner. Why do you allow this? And then you say you're going to spend how much money? We didn't get the news. How much money are you going to spend to find out, what we're going to do about it? We can't do anything about it. Why don't you throw some money over here? It's too late when you let the county go like this. It's a shit show. It's outrageous.
Please, no profanity.
I want to tell you about the election. I'm glad somebody spoke up about that. This is like a cabal. It's like a club, okay? Republican or Democrat, it really doesn't matter. It's the mafia. And you're using, you're playing with our money like it's monopoly money. And it's not. We should be able to give to the charities we want to give to. And we should be able to spend our money the way we want to. Why are you going to ask people for more money and you're investing in Israeli bonds that aren't protected? It's outrageous. What's going on between Tallahassee all the way down to Palm Beach? This is the worst county. The worst county. You're holding a meeting downtown here. You don't want anybody to show up. You've never listened to us, right? It's the same people running for office all the time. They just flip seats. And then you're walking behind. Nobody's held accountable for anything. You threw a lot of money at the sheriff and Wendy Link, and you were given so much information about the corruption, election corruption. You threw all the money away.
No clapping.
Good afternoon, commissioners. I don't have any comments that I'm just taking my notes and I'm going to say what's on my mind. I believe that Doge Palm Beach had come here recently and hopefully they were able to clean up your $9 billion budget so that you could have housing, workforce housing that is affordable for all people. And I know that Miss Sachs is working with, I think her name is Colette, and I look forward to working with her because I've been volunteering and learning that there is a huge need in our county for housing for people that are American, not foreign people, and they need to have a home, veterans and non-drug addicts, just people that are hardworking people that can't make enough to live. I don't think that that's right. I understand you're building beautiful developments and we need to continue to do that because we're in paradise, but we also have to have enough portion where the people that are working at these beautiful places can live and live a decent life. And that's what I'm asking you guys to do. I'm also asking seniors and people who live on a fixed budget, there's county assessments that is taking away from their food and medicine, so we need to be considered with our seniors. They're also a vulnerable population, and everybody comes here. Palm Beach County is called Heaven's Waiting Room, so we have to be careful to remember there's people here that need your help, and there's 7 of you that control $9 billion, so I don't get it. There should never be an excuse at all for any of this. Also, President Trump has a Truth Social post, and he is saying that we are to have watermark ballots, no mail-in ballots, and no rigged electronic voting systems, which we have said over and over and over and over, but we're not Trump. Now he's going to do an executive order, and so I need you guys to be the leaders and help our county to get out of the corruption that it's in. Also, Wendy Link is being sued right now in the 15th Judicial Court. Bongiorno versus Wendy Link involves allegations of election misconduct, including invalid signatures and misuse of public funds. Basically, there's so much to talk about, but I did come to back up that there is an urgent call to support the Epstein-filed Transparency Act discharge petition, HRES 581. I need each one of you to look at it, to understand it, because we are known as Corruption County in the world. We're the home of the President of the United States of America, and we need to be on the tippy-top spear of honesty, and we need to clean up our act. And I'm willing to work with whoever one of you wants to champion this, because time's up now, and I think a lot of people are in trouble. Thank you.
Administrator?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I just wanted to briefly address the Epstein Transparency Act. I just want to let you know it was Palm Beach County, we actually released our grand jury files. We're the ones that did it. The main grand jury for Jeffrey Epstein took place right here in Palm Beach County. And backed by the board, we at the clerk's office advocated to Tallahassee and successfully got that released. What you are seeing is a resolution to Congress for them to release the federal records, which have nothing to do with Palm Beach County, nothing to do per se with the state of Florida. But we did, and we are the only ones to date that got the records released. So appreciate it.
Good to know. Great, thank you.
Commissioner Powell.
We're not allowed to clap.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And Mr. Delroy, I believe you said your trees were cut down by FPNL? AT&T. We can, somebody from my office or one of our staffs can give you or reach out to AT&T or an FPNL for you to try to connect and coordinate. Unfortunately, we at the county may not have the ability to make you whole, but maybe if we reach out on your behalf and connect you with someone, maybe they won't mitigate the situation, but can probably work something out. So I'm sorry that happened.
Someone is coming by on Thursday from AT&T, but I feel that the law needs to be amended somehow so this does not keep happening all the time.
Thank you for that. And that would be a state law, I think, that the legislature passed a few years ago. So may have to talk to the legislature.
All right, you know what? This is
Thank you.
not how we do this conversation, so.
Thank you, Madam
Commissioner
Mayor.
Powell, if you want to continue the conversation, go right ahead, but we need to record from the dais. Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to know, I don't know if any of our staff would be able to answer about the healthcare district or the Children's Services Council. Do they hold public meetings that
Yes, they do.
the public can attend?
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so, and they take comments from the public. And also, the referendums, do they return after a certain amount of time, or are they voted into perpetuity? Do we know? That would be a question for them at their public meeting. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that people can attend their meetings just like they do ours and have these discussions. And voted on, yes? Okay, yes, thank you.
And with that, we are out until 5:05. Are we adjourned? We're adjourning because the budget meeting is a different meeting. We're adjourned.
Understanding your hurricane insurance